Hello, my name is Derek Wood. I currently live in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. I am a world history teacher who also has a license in English as a second language. I'm making this video today for Senator Amy Klobuchar, Senator Al Franken, and my representative, Keith Ellison. And what I would like to address today is the DREAM Act, also commonly known as DACA. Currently, in the United States, over 750,000 people have been able to come out of the shadows through the DREAM Act. Basically, this has allowed people who, the majority of whom were brought to this country as children, who, for the most part, parents or guardians were not documented, but they came here, for the most part, without a choice at a very young age, and lived in America, and were living basically without documentation, but it wasn't because of their choice, it was because of a choice made by their guardians or their families. Many of these children and now adults went through an entire school system in America, and what many of them have found when they have reached high school is that even if they have really good grades in high school, even if they have some of the top scores, that many times their options for college are limited unfairly. And this is because they cannot receive in-state tuition, for example. While Barack Obama did make an executive order of DACA, which allowed 750,000 people to come out of the shadows, to basically tell the government who they were, and to be able to receive deferred action, which would give them protection, for example, from being deported, it still makes it real difficult to go to university, for example. And being that currently DACA is an executive action, one fear is that another executive action could simply cancel it. And what we would have is we would have a situation where many of these people who are on DACA, who were honest, who said that they were undocumented, that they've been living in this country for a long time, that they put their names down with the government, and they tried to play by the rules. If there's an executive action reversing DACA, what would happen to these people is suddenly their names would be in a register, and it's quite possible that they could face deportation. And currently there are 750,000 people who are under DACA because of the executive order signed by Barack Obama. However, I would like to strongly encourage my representatives and my representative and my senators to support having the DREAM Act become a law in both the House of, becoming a bill in both the House of Representatives and Senate, and hopefully then being able to become a law. And if it became a law, this would change a lot of things. And I would like to tell the story of one of my students. So I have a student who received deferred action. And this student was in my AP World History class, and she passed the AP exam for my class, and was an absolutely wonderful student. But she found her college choices to be greatly limited because if she wanted to go to a state school, for example, it was the same price as going to a private school. So for her, she was either looking at going to a community college or possibly getting to a private college, but a state university really didn't make sense because she'd have to pay out-of-state tuition. She worked extremely hard, and in fact, her older sister does have documentation. What happened was their family had to go back to Mexico for health reasons, and she was born in Mexico and then brought here at an early age and had her entire schooling in this country. This is the country that's home to her. And it's been that way for a long time, and it's been that way for many, many children who come to this country undocumented. Luckily for her, she was able to get a full ride scholarship to a private university, so she will not have to pay for her college. But there are thousands and thousands of young people who are put into a situation where they work really hard in their school system and they find out they have to pay out-of-state tuition at a state university, which is ridiculous considering they've been living in the state the whole time. Someone who goes to school in Minnesota for their schooling should be able to receive in-state tuition at a state university or the University of Minnesota. And that's what I would strongly like to hear more from my senators, both Al Franken and Amy Klobuchar, who I think are absolutely wonderful, and Keith Ellison. But I would like to continue to hear this because this does need to become a law. In addition to that, many people who have come here as children or young people are not documented, find that they will go through school and they might even go through college. I could, for example, the student I'm talking about, she could finish college, finish her 4 years, and then she can go get a job, and she may not be able to get one if this decision is reversed. And there are many people who are in that situation where we have some people who are very talented, some people who want to be in the military, who want to be in the universities, who want to work jobs here, and it's a possibility that they won't be able to because they don't have documentation because they were brought here at a young age. This is why I think we need to fully support the DREAM Act and get this passed, because this is just a humane thing to do for these absolutely wonderful people who've come to our country. Again, didn't come by their choice. For the most part, they were brought by relatives and family at a young age and went through our school system, and this is the country they know, and this is the country they should be able to be educated in, work for, and help build this country. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you will consider my opinions and my view when you are making your decisions, and I would love to hear more from you about this issue. Thank you very much, and have a good day.